Hello everyone, I'm Fozzie or Cam, and I'm here with my co-host Will. How you doing today, Will?
Doing great, Cam. Nice to have a 3-day weekend this weekend. Been
Yeah.
enjoying Labor Day and think we have some great stuff on the docket to talk about today, get mad about today, appreciate today. So let's get this thing going.
Yep. And welcome to the Everything Podcast, guys. Today we'll be doing the same thing as always. We'll be covering music. Then we're gonna go on to sports. Then we're gonna go on to our movie review, which I actually have a really good movie plan for that. And last but definitely not least, we have the movie of the week. So yeah, let's get started with our music segment. Will, our music segment, I asked you to listen to a few songs, and the first one on that list was the song Fire by Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, I think this is an outstanding song. Obviously, never made it onto an actual album. He obviously put it on the Promise, which is obviously the outtakes from Darkness on the Edge of Town.
Yes.
So it got on there, but even though it never made an album, it's an outstanding song. I love watching him perform it live. And there is just something about whenever you hear that dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun 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 dun, that's just so
It's
fantastic.
it's awesome. It's like memorable. Like when you hear the bass, you think of this song, and it's not to be confused with the song "I'm on Fire" on the Born in the USA album. This song is just called "Fire" by Bruce Springsteen. And while we're on the topic of Bruce Springsteen, so I was just scrolling through YouTube the other day, and I came upon a. I looked up. Um, I looked up. What do you call a Bruce Springsteen album ranking? Pardon me, jeez. Um, and you know what they said? You know what they said on the album ranking? Well,
What did they say, Cam?
they said "Working on a Dream" is Bruce Springsteen's worst album.
Do you want to have the first word on this, Cam? Because I know you've got things to say, so I'm going to let you give the first word here this afternoon.
All right, thank you. But this, all right, I'm gonna share my screen and show you who reviewed this, and I'll talk about it while doing it. So, this guy, his name is Music City Mike, as you can see here, making records, Bruce Springsteen, and he said, jeez, pardon me. He said, "Working on a Dream" is the worst Bruce Springsteen album. He also said, well, let me continue to talk about the album, cause he put this below the album High Hopes, which is barely even an album. It's not an album. It's a completion or a compilation, whatever you want to call it. Um, it's no, a collection. A collection. That's the word. Um, it's not even a real album, and they put it above. They put it above "Working on a Dream," which has some of the best songs in my opinion, and I think you share the same opinion as me, Will. It has "Outlaw Pete," which he also said was the worst Bruce Springsteen song. That's insane. That is insane. But it has "Outlaw Pete," "Working on a Dream," "Lucky Day," "Surprise Surprise." What else do we have? "Good Eye," "Last Carnival," "Wrestler." I mean, "Queen of the Supermarket." Those are some of the best songs in all of Bruce Springsteen's career. I cannot understand how this moron, Music City Mike, could say that. You should be ashamed of yourself. So that's
You know,
go on.
go ahead, Cam.
No, you can.
No, I could go on just a screaming tantrum here, Cam, because I am extremely mad about this, like you. But to be honest, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. It's just, it's just sad that people can't acknowledge the great songs on Working on a Dream. It's just really sad to me. I mean, you rolled them out, and Music City Mike, I, like you, I'm speechless that you could rank that lower than High Hopes, man. I so disagree with you. High Hopes has the most of the good songs, with the exception of like Just Like Firewood, Frankie Fell in Love, and The Wall. Besides that, all the good songs you already know, and all the other songs are outtakes that are solid but not very good.
I agree.
And you come on and say that Working on a Dream should be ranked lower than High Hopes. That is absolutely ridiculous. As you said, you should be ashamed of yourself. And I am waiting for your next video, Music City Mike. I will be checking your YouTube channel, and I am hoping for a public apology for that blasphemous, ridiculous Bruce Springsteen album.
I totally agree. And from looking at his YouTube channel, he seems to be very active. His last video was posted 10 hours ago. So you will not have any trouble finding his most recent videos.
Yeah, I can't wait to go on and hopefully see him say that he's sorry, but it's probably not gonna happen. He definitely better, but I'm completely with you on this one, Cam. And Music City Mike, I just have very strongly different feelings than you, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, what else can we say? You know, it's not accurate. It's not fair, and it's wrong. And I also apologize. The screen just went black, but we just fixed that. But moving on, I can't talk about this for any longer. It's just making me very, very mad and making my blood pressure go very, very high. So moving on, next. I asked you to listen to what was the next song? Mary's Place, again by Bruce Springsteen. Not a very well-known song, but it's one of my favorites, to be honest with you. And I really love it. It's outstanding. I mean, what can I say?
Yeah, it is an outstanding song, Cam. No doubt about it. I know he did feature it on the Essential, so I'm glad that he did that.
Oh, did he really?
As far as I know, when I looked at it recently, I saw it on there. I know he updated it in 2015, but the 2003 version, I saw Mary's Place on there. But I completely agree with you. It's a great song. Love seeing him do it live as well at the Live in Barcelona show.
Oh, that is one of his best concerts, I must say.
Absolutely, yeah, that he put out from the Rising tour, and you know, it is kind of a powerful song in many ways too. Obviously, the Rising is his 9/11 album,
and one of his best albums.
Absolutely, and after 9/11, to speak to everybody and the many people that lost their lives and say, meet me at Mary's Place. We're gonna have a party. There's a kind of powerful element to the song as well, Cam. Fantastic song. I'm completely in agreement with you. Love it.
I would totally agree. It's just like you said, a powerful song, a great song.
Absolutely.
Yes, but the next song I asked you to listen to was "Live and Die" by the Ava Brothers. They're one of my favorite bands, and I know they're one of yours as well.
Absolutely.
Because to be honest, what is there not to like about them? This is probably my favorite song right now by them. I'm not going to say it's my favorite song ever, but currently, this is my favorite song by them. And how did you feel about it?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Cam. It is a fantastic song.
Sure is.
All I really have to say about it, because I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't heard it, because I know the Ava Brothers aren't the most famous band in the world, but they are well known enough to have a lot of success. But all I have to say is, if you don't know the Ava Brothers and you want to get into them, just listen to that song, and that will perk your interest in Scott and Seth Avett and Bob Crawford and Joe Kwan. That's all that I have to say. If you haven't listened to the Ava Brothers, listen to that song. I can guarantee you that will get you engaged and want to listen more to that band. It's fantastic, and I saw them in concert also in August of 2019.
Did you
Such a
really?
fantastic. I did. Yeah, such a fantastic show, and one that I'll remember for a long, long time.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Ava Brothers live. I think they have a performance 2022 in the summer, I think.
Oh,
But
cool.
I'd like to check out at some point, maybe.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think it's close to where I live too, so I might be there. But yeah, I love the Ava. It's one of my favorite bands, and I think it's time for our next song. And that song is just it's such a chill, fun song by Jack Johnson. We have Upside Down.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Cam. Great chill song. I know you have a couple songs of his. The guitar is fantastic in both. They're just peaceful, calm, beautiful, lovely to listen to songs.
They really are, and he's just like such a chill guy. I mean, you could just picture it, just him strumming his guitar
Yeah,
on the beach,
I agree.
chilling, you know. And that's exactly the vibe you wanna hear when you listen to Jack Johnson. I know that's the vibe I definitely want, but I can't speak for everyone else, but that's what I want when I listen to him, and he totally delivers on that and makes it one of the best songs by him, and just a great song in general, you know.
Definitely.
And that brings us to our next song, and our final song. We have Better Together by Jack Johnson.
Yeah, pretty much the same things to say as Upside Down, but just another great song and one to definitely get you into him as a musician.
Oh yeah, it's just peaceful, you know? It's a peaceful song.
Yeah,
Makes you
I
happy.
agree. Totally agree.
Yeah, and that is our last song on our music segment today. And now we will move on to sports. Will, take it away.
Well, we obviously are both New England Patriots fans, Cam,
Sure
but
are.
there's no way that we can't talk about the big news from this past week. And I'm not talking about, although this was kind of big news in the Patriots realm as well, I'm not talking about Nick Folk getting released, going to the practice squad, and then
Can I just say something about that, please?
Yes, of course.
Why? That doesn't make sense. You have Quentin Nordine as your starting kicker. He missed like 3 field goals. That's dumb. But go on.
Okay, I mean, I'm kind of back and forth on it. In the beginning, I was kind of feeling the same as you. I just didn't feel like Nick Folk had kind of, earned this. But I guess they just think that Quinn Nordine could be their long-term kicker. But Quinn Nordine has a lot to prove if he wants to really take that job from Nick Folk. But anyway, best of luck to the both of them. But Cam Newton, the Patriots released Cam Newton. Mac Jones is going to be the starter. The Mac Jones era in Foxborough has officially begun. And Cam, I just think that at the end of the day, at the end of the day, Mac Jones had just really kind of, beat out Cam Newton for the starting job. They didn't want it to be a distraction in the locker room with a former NFL MVP in there as a backup, and also out of respect to Cam Newton for the great leader he's been on the team. I think they wanted to give him a chance to go and compete for a starting job elsewhere. So I think just at the end of the day, out of respect to Cam Newton, they wanted to let him go and try and compete for another starting job on another team. And Mac Jones had just earned the starting job. And I think it's as simple as that, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think Mac Jones is a great quarterback, one of the best from the draft, if not the best. From what I've seen in preseason and practice, he's one of the best. And I'd like to ask you a question here.
Yeah.
Where do you where do you think Cam Newton will go? Do you think he'll be a backup? Do you think he'll be a starter? If if he's a backup, well, where do you think he'll go? If he's a starter, where do you think he'll go?
I mean, if he's going to be a starter, I mean, I don't think he'll. I think kind of the only place he could be a starter at this point would be on a team that's not very good in terms of a. I can't think of one in particular because, there's a good amount of bad teams in the NFL.
Sure.
But in terms of a backup role, I've heard the Dallas Cowboys mentioned, so maybe I would go with a place like that. But I mean, I've heard people say this in the last week, Cam, and I completely agree. It is really hard, really, really hard to swallow your pride and accept a backup role when you've been a starter in the league for a long time, been to a Super Bowl, won an MVP. But will Cam Newton be able to swallow his pride and accept a backup role in the National Football League if push comes to shove?
Yeah, I don't think he will, to be honest with you. I just don't think he will. I don't think he has that in him. Because, like, if you look at some of the tweets and Instagram posts that he's made, he's, like, just put his ego on full display. Like the Patriots. What did he say about the Patriots? Something about loyalty. Like,
Maybe I didn't hear about that one, but I do know that he actually put out a Instagram post that I actually very much respect after he got released by the Patriots. He sent out a post saying, appreciate all of the love and everything, but don't feel sorry for me. I really respect him posting that, I'll be honest.
that's fair, I guess, but he just, like, if you really look at his history in the NFL, on the Panthers, on the Patriots, he just has such an egotistical history, And I
guess, but Bill Belichick said last season, no one works harder than him.
I've kind of lost quite a bit of faith in Bill Belichick, to be honest with you.
Did you really?
I really did. I've lost a lot of confidence in him through his draft picks. I mean, we could have had DK Metcalf on our team,
All right. There is that, and there are things to critique when it comes to draft picks. I'm not necessarily going to question that. But let me ask you this question, though, Cam. The Patriots last season had an extremely flawed roster, a quarterback who's passing for less than 100 yards.
But here's the thing. Whose fault is that? That lies on Bill,
Follow what I'm saying here. He had a very flawed roster, and at one point he had them 6-6, and they were only 2 games under 500, and came close to winning a certain amount of games that could have got them over 500 as well. So personally, I would need to see bad things from Bill Belichick this season for me to truly lose confidence in him.
That's fair, but I feel like a lot of New England fans, the Patriot way or whatever, that doesn't exist. That was just Tom Brady, and Bill Belichick was just insanely lucky drafting him, and like the Patriot way, it was just Tom Brady being an absolute GOAT,
Let me ask you this, though. Do you still think he's the greatest coach in the history of the NFL?
I think it was Tom Brady that made it all possible, but still, we don't have, enough evidence to say that it was all Tom Brady and that it was just a fluke and Bill was just lucky. So I don't think we have enough evidence to say that. But I'll still say he's one of the best, if not the best, coaches of all time. Because he, I guess it's not a coincidence that his team won 6 Super Bowls in a row. Not in a row, but 6 Super Bowls. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's just Tom Brady is really good and Bill Belichick was so lucky. Never know.
Again, I would need to see 5 straight seasons or something of the Patriots being under 500 or far below 500 for me to truly put Bill Belichick into question. But for right now, I see that he did just one of his really most brilliant coaching jobs last season with a flawed roster, and he would have to do a lot worse for me to really put him into question right now.
I agree. I totally agree. And, yeah, do you have anything else to cover?
Well, the Buccaneers and the Cowboys will obviously kick off the season on Thursday, Cam. I think, obviously a lot of people have Tampa Bay winning that game, so I don't think there's too much to analyze, but obviously it'll be great to have the start of the football season on Thursday at 8:20 your time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited, to be honest. Looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good NFL season. That is, if people get vaccinated, which actually brings me to another point about Cam Newton. So if he's not going to get vaccinated, then he most certainly will not get a starting job. But that if he does, then there might be a chance. But if not, then he'll be lucky if he gets a backup job.
Yeah. Kind of pushing aside for a second how not getting vaccinated will impact him being a starter or not being a starter in the NFL. I said this on our last podcast, Cam, but I'm just going to say it again, especially professional sports players, but everybody. If you have not gotten vaccinated yet, please do. It's like, is it going to fully stop COVID-19? No, but it's going to get us a lot closer to being able to, go outside and hang out indoors with friends wearing masks again and everything. And professional sports players like Cam Newton, it endangers people.
Especially professional sports players.
Absolutely. It endangers people around you not getting vaccinated.
And it endangers yourself.
Absolutely. So just get vaccinated is all I have to say.
I totally agree with you.
So, yeah, that's that on not a sports athlete, but a sports broadcaster perspective. Obviously, Stephen A. Smith and Michael Irvin have had many classic debates over the years about the Dallas Cowboys, and the new era of First Take began today. It's going to be Stephen A. Smith and a rotating cast of guests. And look, are they crazy? Is Michael Irvin crazy with his cowboy takes? He absolutely is. But there is something about watching those two go at it. And I'm excited to see it every single Monday on First Take.
Yeah.
10 Eastern, ESPN.
Also, how do you feel about Max Kellerman leaving?
I personally think that First Take just got to a point where it's not like the Stephen A. Max era wasn't a success. I just think they thought that it had kind of worn its course and it was just time to move on. And I truly think it's as simple as that. And good luck to Max Kellerman on his new ESPN radio role with Keyshawn Johnson and Jay Williams starting tomorrow.
Yeah, I might actually check that out. What about you?
I may as well, yeah.
I was always, for the most part, a fan of Max Kellerman, except for his insane Tom Brady takes. But
yeah, I am totally with you on that. I guess my main issues with Max were, as you said, things he said about Tom Brady. Also, some things he said about Steph Curry very much bothered me as well. But he does, I think he is a good person for ESPN, and I do respect, his boxing, opinions and stuff like that very much as well. So it's a very love-hate relationship for me with Max Kellerman, but overall, like you, I do like and have respect for him.
And we have to have a lot of respect for him because he was actually in the movie Creed 2, right? Was it Creed 1?
And Creed 1 and Rocky Balboa as well.
Was he really?
And, yeah, he was.
Wow. I didn't know he was in that. I thought he was just in Creed 2.
But I would love to see him. I'll actually be disappointed if he's not in Creed 3 as well. I would love to see him call that fight with Adonis Creed against whoever he fights against. So, Max, please come back for Creed 3. I would love to see you in that.
Yeah, as would I. And I've already stated my opinion on Creed 3 and how I feel about that. Go watch that episode, please. I think it was episode...
That was a good episode for sure. I think it was a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, that was an awesome one. But that actually brings us to our next segment, unless you have anything else to add.
No, that's it for now, Cam. Please take it away with what I'm really excited for this movie review segment, because you're gonna talk about in all-time classic and one of Harrison Ford's best movies. So please take it away.
Today we'll be reviewing the movie Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. One of the best movies of all time, to be honest with you. It's just an absolute classic to everyone. Like, not only to Harrison Ford, to Harrison Ford fans, this is like a masterpiece. It's an artistic masterpiece, and I'm a huge Harrison Ford fan. I think he's funny. I think he's a great actor, and this just lays it out, shows how awesome he is. And he's one of the best actors, I think, of all time. And I think he's just outstanding in the role of Indiana Jones, and it's amazing. That being said, this is not my favorite Indiana Jones movie, which I will get to later. I will get to that later. But Karen Allen as Marion. So she is awesome. Like, she fights people. And like, as you can see in Indiana Jones 2, yeah, they didn't do that in the second one. But she actually fights. She is like strong. She like knows how to get out of like the certain situations, you know?
Yeah, and I will definitely, I've actually had on my mind for a while that I've wanted to check out the sequels to see my takes on them, and I especially
you haven't watched them?
I actually haven't,
so wow.
I'm a bit disappointed in myself, and especially now that I hear that Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark actually isn't your favorite, so that has encouraged me even more to go and see the sequels.
Yeah, it's awesome until we get to the fourth Indiana Jones, which, I mean, it's not a bad movie, but it's not as good as 1, 2, 3.
Solid more? Like a solid but not great movie?
Yeah, I'd say that. Some people might say it's awesome, some people might say it's horrible. Depends who you ask, really. I like it.
That's good.
It's like a more modern take on Indiana Jones with like more modern technology, like CGI and stuff like that. But moving on from Indiana Jones 4, that's not what we're here for. We're here for Indiana Jones 1, the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Raiders of the Lost Ark, I think. I'd like to say, like, there are good scares in this movie. I watched this movie when I was about 7, 5, 6, maybe when I was in kindergarten was the first time I watched this movie. And I gotta say, I was not ready to watch it, man.
Yeah.
That gave me quite a few scares as a 5 or 6 year old kid.
Totally understandable. I would be scared at that age too. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it has some good scares, you know. And most action movies today, like Mission Impossible, they have tension and action, but they don't have scares. They don't get you like tension. Whoa, what the heck was that? They get you tension. Oh, he saved the day.
Yeah,
Like, Harrison Ford fails sometimes. Like, he messes up. He's not perfect, like you can see in like John Wick, or Mission Impossible, or even Jason Bourne. I honestly think it has good scares, and it's just beautiful. It's a great movie. And
go on. Go ahead, Cam.
No, you can speak.
No. I was just gonna say that I totally agree with you. I don't see why anybody who's listening and watching this podcast won't have seen that movie. But if you for some crazy reason haven't, I totally agree with you, Cam. It's an all-time classic.
Really is.
Totally going watch it, and you've inspired me to watch it again sometime soon.
Yeah, it's just outstanding. It's probably one of the best movies of all time.
Yeah, and if you wouldn't mind me asking, if you're ready, would you mind sharing with everybody what your favorite Indiana Jones movie is, since it's not the first one?
Yes, but I would like to say a few more things too.
Of course.
Well, one more thing. Steven Spielberg. What an outstanding... Oh no. What an outstanding director Steven Spielberg is.
One of the all-time greats.
Just his camera work, everything about it is just outstanding, and he's one of the best directors he probably is the best director of all time.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Obviously, Indiana Jones, E.T. Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, just to name a few.
Yeah. And didn't he do Jurassic Park?
He did, as far as I know. He did do Jurassic Park as well. So yeah, you're absolutely right about that. But yeah, no, as you say, it's just so impressive what he's able to do, and it's really hard to, have, so many great movies like that. We watched E.T. as a family a couple weeks ago, and obviously his great directing is on full display there. Shows how he's able to, get great performances out of, young actors as well. So as you're saying, just a fantastic, all-time great director.
Yeah, he really is. But now I can finally answer your question and say what my favorite Indiana Jones is. And I have to say, it's Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The third Indiana Jones movie. So if I had to rank it, I'd go 3, 1, 2, 4. That's how I'd rank them.
Got it.
But to articulate about Indiana Jones 3 and the Last Crusade, it has Sean Connery, or as some of you might know him, he plays James Bond in the better James Bond movies. He's outstanding as Indiana Jones' father. He's awesome. He's just outstanding, and he's one of the best parts of, if not the best part of the entire movie. And Harrison Ford, of course, another outstanding performance. And this is easily the best Indiana Jones movie of all time. It's funny, has action. It's actually really funny. Has some of the most iconic scenes. I mean, River Phoenix is in it. You might know. You guys probably don't know who he is, but he's outstanding as young Indiana Jones in the beginning scene. And once again, Steven Spielberg, awesome. Like, this is easily better than Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I enjoy it just so much. So that brings me to my final rating of Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I'm going to give it an A-.
A-, okay. Please explain why I didn't get an A.
I would have gotten an A if it was my favorite Indiana Jones movie.
Okay.
And if this was not
I respect that.
If it wasn't a series, then I would probably give it an A. I get that doesn't make much sense, but it's not better than Indiana Jones 3. And Indiana Jones 3 is not an A+. It's an A. So
right.
I'm going to have to give it an A-.
Yeah, I actually respect that, Cam, now that you broke it down and talked about how the third Indiana Jones movie, The Last Crusade, is actually your favorite. So I'm actually not going to get too mad at that. And as I said, now that I hear that the third one is your favorite, you got me excited to go and see the sequels.
Yeah, you definitely should check them out. Like I said, 4 is an outstanding, but...
How about How is 2?
2 is it's different, you know.
Okay.
You know, that movie could have been rated R.
Okay.
I've heard from some sources, like it's very gruesome, I must say, and
Yeah.
that people say that movie invented the PG-13 rating because it was rated PG originally.
I have heard that. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And some people say it kind of messed up Steven Spielberg's career, kind of messed up the way he made
Interesting.
movies because there were so many mean things saying like that it was parents took their kids to see it, think it was like Indiana Jones, fun, cool, action, but no, we have people ripping hearts out of people, you know. So and eating monkey brain. I mean,
Interesting.
yeah, it's definitely interesting. You don't have the context behind it, but um,
Right.
it's a good movie. You know, it's not the best, not the worst. It's better than 4, not as good as 3, and not as good as 1.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Cam. But any final things that you want to say on Raiders of the Lost Ark?
That's all for me. It's a great movie. Check it out.
Okay, so I guess it's time to move on to the movie of the week here. Cam, are you ready for that?
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay. First of all, to please you, I'm going to let you know that we did watch Doctor Strange and Ant-Man the Wasp, so I want to start by saying that.
Woo!
Okay, good.
And
Anyway.
in your email, you did say you watched Infinity War as well, did you?
I did, and I watched Endgame a couple days ago, and this is slightly breaking the rules here, Cam, but since they are both the Thanos story, I'm going to go ahead and say that my movies of the week are Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. I know that's breaking the rules, but they're both the Thanos story, so I'm going to do that. These movies are absolute masterpieces. I was blown away. I don't know what else to say. Masterpieces.
It's outstanding. How did you feel? I don't want to do any spoilers, but if you don't want to hear oh no, my headphones again. If you don't want to hear any spoilers, I'd recommend fast forwarding a minute or so.
Yeah.
But how did you feel about Tony Stark dying?
Yeah, I had heard the rumors
and
about
Black Widow.
Yeah, I had heard the rumors about that, so I wasn't shocked. I was definitely sad because they're both obviously two big characters in the MCU, but you know, I can understand why they both decided to give their life. So I'll put it to you this way: I was definitely very sad, but I can understand why they did it.
Yeah, it's very sad, you know, and but now continue talking about why these movies are so good, because I totally agree with you.
Oh well, I mean, I just think Thanos is a fantastic bad guy. They give a lot of depth to the character. I think especially Avengers Endgame has a great build up to the final fight against Thanos. I mean, I'll be honest, I just don't have much else to say besides I just think they're outstanding movies, powerful movies, well done movies, and in my mind, they are top 5 Marvel movies.
Yeah, I agree. I think Endgame is one of the best movies ever made, to be honest.
I don't see why not. It's outstanding, and they also did a good job. You're obviously excited that the Avengers beat, Thanos and his army, but they also do, kind of a good job, making you walk away from it excited that the Avengers won, but also, sad because Tony Stark just died.
And we lost Captain America too.
Yeah, we did. We did. Obviously, glad to see he was able to go back and spend time with the woman that he loved. But that was sad as well. We definitely lost people in that movie.
So what's next for you? Spider-Man What's the
Far From Home.
Far From Home? And after,
Yeah.
actually,
After that, I'll move on to the shows.
I don't think it is. So if you want to do it in actual timeline order,
Okay.
then WandaVision would come before Spider-Man Far From Home.
Okay. Thank you for telling me that. Yeah, I'll think about and.
I'm not exactly sure, but I believe, I'm not sure, but I think WandaVision is before.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for telling me that. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I will think over that a bit more before I decide to go off and do that. So besides Spider-Man Far From Home, I guess the only one that I haven't seen because it's not on Disney Plus, and also like every list has it ranked last, is the Hulk movie. But would you say that I should watch that, or would you say totally stay away from it?
I like that movie, actually. I think it's a decent
Okay.
movie.
Yeah,
And
maybe I'll go and watch
technically,
that
it is
then.
in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it's a decent movie. It's not Mark Ruffalo who plays the Hulk. It's a different
Yeah.
actor, but it's a good movie.
Okay.
It has a totally different vibe than most Marvel movies, but you should check it out.
Yeah, I
And
will.
one movie we both will have to see at some point is Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings.
Yeah, I am definitely planning on seeing that at some time. Just with where COVID's at right now, we're holding out on going to theaters at this
Yeah.
particular moment in time, but I definitely plan to see that once it becomes available on Disney Plus.
Can you buy it on Disney Plus right now? Like for
I checked and I didn't see that you could,
oh,
but I'll look into it if
well, it just
you
came out the
can.
other day, so
Friday, but yeah, nice to have a Asian superhero. I think that's a good idea.
I totally agree. And from what I've heard, it's an awesome movie. And also, do you wanna so you know the people who kidnapped Tony Stark in the first Iron Man movie?
Yes.
You know what they're called?
What are they called?
The Ten Rings.
Are they? Wow. Thank you for telling me that, because I would have no idea. Thank you.
So this movie is about like the leader of the Ten Rings and stuff,
Wow.
and like who's in charge, and the guy who's in charge's son, which is Shang-Chi, and he kind of wants to get away from his father's insane ruling.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for telling me that, as I said, Cam, because I did not know that. Thank you.
And you know how they mentioned the Mandarin in Iron Man 3?
Yes.
We get to see the real Mandarin.
Wow.
And you know
That's
who?
amazing.
And speaking of Iron Man 3, the fake Mandarin, from what I've heard, I can't confirm this, but I believe he's also in this movie.
Is he? Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But yeah, no, just as I said, Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, just they blew me away.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, sad to see him go, but Tony Stark has rocketed into one of my favorite movie characters of all time. I just think his humor is fantastic. And Robert Downey Jr., just a fantastic performance, as always.
Yeah, as always, like, you nailed it there. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is really one of the best actors of all time, and these are great movies, and they're basically just a part 1 and part 2. They're basically, they only both exist because Marvel wants to make money off both films, and
Right.
because they can't make it like a 7-hour movie.
Right. That would be pretty insane, a 7-hour movie.
I'd love to see it. But...
But, yeah, I don't have much more to say besides, I know that this is a strong word, but they're epic. They're some of the greatest superhero films of all time. They blew me away.
Yeah, I agree. They really are. And I think that does it for our episode of the Everything Podcast. What episode are we on? 10?
Yeah.
Wow.
10 sounds right to me. But yeah, always nice to get on here and do these with you, Cam. And I'm looking forward to doing one with you again very soon. Maybe this Friday if you're free.
I'd love I'd love to do it. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, for watching, listening, whatever you're doing. But yeah, thanks. Also, time for a little bit of self promotion. I have a YouTube channel called Fozzie where I make comedy videos, gaming videos, and sometimes vlogs. So if you're a fan of this podcast, then you'll definitely be a fan of my YouTube channel. Subscribe to that, please. It's totally free. You can change your mind whenever you want, and you can unsubscribe at any time. Also, subscribe to this channel. The same applies. Totally free. Unsubscribe at any time. And drop a comment or leave a like, Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for joining me, Will, and have a great day.